good morning. Welcome to a very crisp fall morning here at the cabin. This podcast is being filmed here at a cabin up in the mountains. My friend from college, my best friend from college, her parents own this cabin and they used to live nearby here, but they've moved up to Vermont. And this is the second time now we've gotten the opportunity to come up here and stay in this cabin. It's super fun. I've always loved to camp, and so staying at this rustic cabin in the mountains is like camping, only better because we have a wood stove to keep us warm. So as you can see, the logs here are super old. They were hand hewn, which means that they were all cut down and like shaped to size by hand with just I know they don't use an axe, but they use like, you know, a little metal blade to try to shave it to make it flat and square. And you can see the little notches in the wood, and then each one is notched just like kids' Lincoln log toys to fit together properly. This particular cabin was taken down. It's over 100 years old, and it was taken down from a different place and purchased by my friend's parents and rebuilt here, and they rebuilt it by hand. I'm sure they had some extra thick machinery to help them lift, although I'm not sure that they did. They did a lot of this by hand. And then they had what's called a chinking party, where their friends came up and helped them do all of this stuff that's between the logs, and that's called chinking. So it's a very hand-done one. And let's see, it was only a couple of years ago that they actually installed running water and a shower. Before that, it was really just a rustic cabin. And they now have a toilet, like I said, a shower, and they have electricity now. And they've had the wood stove in there to keep it warm during the winter, which is really, really nice. So it's like, this is my ideal vacation spot. I love the mountains. I love it in the fall when the leaves are changing. And yeah, this is, like I said, like camping, only way better. So, feel very privileged to be able to come here. But it's the perfect time of year to wear all my knitwear. Because it is rather cold. It's 26 degrees Fahrenheit this morning, and there's frost all over the ground. When I'm done here, I'll have to show you. The sun is just coming up over the top of the mountain. I would show you now, except I did not bring a tripod, so I've strategically placed my camera, and I'm not sure I could get it back right. It was difficult. I had to prop it up with little stones. So anyways, I decided to layer everything on at the moment that I'm going to talk about. Just about. Maybe a couple other things. So what I am wearing is a whole bunch of stuff. With the top here, this is my knit on pearl hat. I forgot to tell you who I am. I do that like every podcast, I think. My name is Gabie. This is Gabie's Knit Goodies, my podcast, where I show you everything that I love to knit and design and make. So thank you for coming. And as you can see in my little video, either the beginning or the end here, my kids and I had some fun this morning. I have 3 children. 2 of them are in the little video. A couple of dogs. I have a husband. And yeah, we have a hamster at home and a cat. So that's me. And you can find me everywhere at Gabie's Knit Goodies. I finally changed all my stuff so it's all the same. So Gabie's Knit Goodies on Instagram, Ravelry, and loveknitting.com, as well as here on YouTube. So what I am wearing, hat. This is the Knit on Pearl hat. I designed it and released it not very long ago, inspired by a yarn and a yarn store in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And this yarn that I've knitted with is a self-striping yarn. And on the label it said crazy sock yarn, no two are alike. Like no two skeins are alike. So it's very fun with the self-striping yarn. but it's a knit and purl hat, and the brim, when folded down, it has a different pattern than the main body, but when you fold it up, or it's a reverse pattern, all your little knit lines line up, which I like. Okay, so that's the hat. My mittens, these are Fingerless Mitts, fingering weight yarn. I purchased it from Joann Fabrics, and I made these so that they fold up, so they keep most of your fingers warm. They're my perfect like dog walking mitts at home. And I don't have a pattern out for these, but I do have a video where I talk about how I make them in detail so that you can copy them. I also made them extra long so they can fold down, and they can be stuffed underneath the jacket so there's no gap between your jacket and your mittens. But I don't need to do that now. Okay. And then this is my, it's mine because I knitted, but it is the boho blush shawl that I made a long time ago, and I think it's one of my first podcasts that I ever podcasted. I talked about this shawl. It is the boho blush by Andrea Mowry. I knit it out of, I think it's called Platinum is the colorway, and it is Knit Picks, one with a little bit of cashmere in it. I forget what the actual name is, but it has a little bit of cashmere in it. The thing I think that struck me about this shawl are the fringe, but I have to say it was a pain to get this fringe on. By a pain, I just mean tedious. It wasn't difficult, it was just cutting them all, trying to get them all the same length, because you know it's stretches and all, and then attaching them. That was the least pleasant part of this. This does have a tiny bit of brioche, which was my first ever brioche introduction. It is a crescent shawl, but it's a very narrow crescent and very long. Very, very long. But it's pretty, isn't it? And because I knit it in a neutral color, I wear it all the time. And it's very soft. But it does pill. This yarn, it's very soft because it has the cashmere in it. But I would never make a sweater out of it because it totally does pill. And here's the little brioche section. And then it has like the fan and feather lace and garter, and then all those lovely fringes. And my fringe is felting together, but which is not that big of a deal. But I think there's like 4 strands in each one, but they've like felted together. So most of them are kind of stuck together, which is all good. All right. I put on the Penguono, and I'll talk about that next. What I'm wearing is my Snow is Coming sweater that I released recently. And that's what I'm wearing in that silly little video that I made. I will talk about that more after the Penguono, since I'm wearing the Penguono. That's the next layer here. Okay. I finished the sleeves. They don't quite match. This one is a charcoal gray, and this one's black. And then I started this fuzzy yarn earlier on this side than I did on this side. But you know what? This is one of those garments that's just crazy anyways. And I feel like I may have made a mistake on one of these sleeves slightly, because I had stopped one, like it said to, and then I started the other, and then I did the next section, which is you pick up these stitches and you knit this. And so I followed the instructions for that. But then when I got finished, I was supposed to only do like, I don't know, 6 or 8 rows of garter stitch to finish off the sleeve. But then when I compared it to the other one that I hadn't actually done this section yet, or those garter sections, garter rows, this one was like longer than this one already. And so I ended up omitting all of the garter sections here. However, I've done it in a fuzzy yarn, so whether it's garter or seed stitch, it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. You cannot tell. It's just very fuzzy. And like I said, one is a little bit longer than the other. That doesn't matter. But I feel like I've reached a slight milestone, and I feel like I'm getting close to the end of the sweater. However, I still have a ton of knitting to do on this thing, on this cardigan. Because I finished the sleeves, and of course I finished the body, and now I'm on the bottom hem, I guess you could say. But I have to pick up stitches all the way around the bottom hem, which is like, I don't know, 500 or so stitches probably. And knit that, and then I have to pick up these stitches and knit the collar as well. And then I think we're supposed to have an I-cord bind off or something on the whole thing. I'm not sure if I'll do that or not. It looks good, but in this wacky yarn, especially if I used a chunky yarn, I think maybe I could just do like a crochet edging or something on it. I don't know. We'll see. But I wanted to show it to you because I can kind of put it on, even though I started picking up these bottom edge stitches here. So I have needles hanging off. But, and the red is not, there's not going to be any red. This is just my waste yarn. But crosses over. I brought this project because it just felt like the perfect garment here, and I really wish it was done. Okay, I can't really stand back to show it to you. That's okay. Yeah, it adds a layer of warmth, and it's big enough where like I can fit it over a sweater, I can fit it over anything. And like I said when I started this sweater forever ago, the plan with this is a house coat. So even though it's crazy and it's not totally symmetrical, it doesn't matter. So I'm very excited though that I finally started on that. And I feel like the end is in sight, even though it's going to be a while before it actually is done. Alright, I have 2 more works in progress, but since I uncovered my sweater, I'll just talk about that, and then I'll move on to the hat and the noncho. I guess that's how you say it. My Snow is Coming sweater, knit out of Fisherman's Wool from Joanne Fabrics in natural, and then Patons classic wool in black. I'm wearing a turtleneck under it today because, like I said, it's cold outside. I actually have a thin layer and then a very, very thin cotton turtleneck. And then this sweater. And I was walking around out here without my hat, and I was totally fine. That thrills me. So it's all over, or the full body is color work. Just the 2 colors, and in the pattern you have these 3 colorwork charts that you repeat, and you can mix and match them however you want. This original one is made long, so I can wear with leggings like I have on today, and it covers my behind. But you could omit any number of these and make it cropped or make it, waist length as you see fit. You stop color work when you split for your arms so that you don't have to do color work. Increases and decreases in it. It just makes it simpler and easy to knit. You seam the shoulders, you pick up stitches for the neck, you pick up stitches for the arms, and you have a little bit of color work on your sleeves, which I love. So the one thing you have to think about, which I have information in pattern in terms of changing it for different sleeve lengths, is I think this is a 10 stitch repeat or an 8 stitch repeat around here, so you have to have a multiple of, I think it's 8 at your wrist. And I knit long cuffs because I like to fold them down over my hands when I don't have mittens on. Okay. Next item of business. Not really of business. Next item of knitting. Just way better than business. I have mentioned this before. My mother-in-law wanted a CC hat knit by me. CC hats are a big trend, and they are like a manufactured hat, not a hand knit type thing. And she wanted it out of acrylic. So this is Lion brand acrylic yarn. I forget what I think it's like Lion brand premium worsted weight acrylic yarn, something like that. This one is in cream. I will try it on. I am so close to being done. It is cute. It is Copycat CC hat, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, or I think it actually might be on her, like on a website, not actually like on a blog type thing, not actually like a Ravelry download, but you can find it on Ravelry. I will link it below, and it's pretty simple. The only difficult part, if you could call it difficult, it was initially for me, but provisional cast on, so you can have the folded brim, and then it's just knits and purls for the rest of the thing. And I'm almost done closing this one up. This is the third one I've made. I don't have the other two, but I have made a video on them where I talk a little more in detail probably about this. But I think it's very cute. And yes, the acrylic is very soft, but I don't really like working with it. I've gotten really used to the natural yarns, and this ends up feeling plasticky in my fingers. Which is funny because back when I started knitting, I had no clue about yarn content and the difference it would make. And I love the natural wool and the different natural fibers. So anyways, that's that. So it's a gift knit, but I've made 3 of them. One's for her, and the other 2 will be for her friends. She said she wanted some to give to her friends. So I usually don't do that, but it's hard to say no to your mother-in-law. So, okay. And then this project, if you saw my latest vlog, you have seen this. And I don't think I've made really any progress since then, because I've been working on my Penguono and my hat. This is the Noncho. Forget who it's by. I will put it up. It has visible increases around the, I guess, yoke section here. And it is like a little poncho. I'm making it for my daughter. She picked out this turquoise yarn a couple years ago at the Montpelier Fiber Arts Festival. And then I went back recently and I picked up this Surrey alpaca by Rustic Designs. She is a yarn dyer. I was looking for like a kid silk mohair that was hand dyed, but this is beautifully soft and really has the same fuzzy feel to it. And she loves this. She loves the fuzzy textures. And I think you can actually kind of see, what you couldn't in my out and about vlog. You can see the increases here. So once you stop doing these initial all over increases, you have a few sections around where you're making increases around the body. So it's just increased at a slower rate, but it kind of gives a little bit of a pointed look to the stripes. So my daughter is excited for me to finish. It is kind of a light fingering weight, so it takes a little while to knit it, especially when I'm knitting other things. Nothing makes very good progress when I knit on a lot of things, but I kind of put everything down to knit my mother-in-law's hats. And I mentioned it briefly on my little vlog the other day while I was at ballet class. But these are those ergonomic knitting needles. And PRYM is the brand. And I'm really liking knitting this with them. And like I said on the vlog, I am not sure how I would like knitting cables or a lot of lace work with them. So it remains to be seen. But so far, I am loving knitting this on them, surprisingly. Andy and Carlos, they use these needles. And I've also seen it on a Fruity Knitting episode about ergonomic knitting. They talked about these. So I wanted to give them a try. So that is that. And this is, again, the Nacho. And I will put that information below. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Thank you for joining me here at the cabin. The sun has really reached the tops of the little bit of mountain in front of us. So you can see the leaves. And there are still some yellow and reddish leaves up there. It's kind of the end of the leaf season. But there's a few up there that I can show you with the sun shining on it. It's nice and bright. Oh, and I will give you a tour of this cabin as well. So if you want to hang around for a few more minutes, then I will give you a tour. I probably will film the tour maybe tomorrow morning because everybody's making breakfast inside right now. So it's kind of chaotic in there. But it's a lovely old cabin and they have all kinds of rustic things inside that I just love. So thank you for chatting with me this morning. I always enjoy talking about my knitting to those who actually want to hear about it. Bye. So here's the top of that hill in front of us, and hopefully you can see how beautiful those trees are on top. A couple of weeks ago it probably would have been more variety of color, but it's still pretty. See, I can zoom in for you. Hi!
Hi.
I want to welcome a special guest this morning. This is my daughter, Kaysen, and she wants to show you a knitted item that she's made. Go ahead, Kaysen, what have you made?
I've made this cowl.
The yarn is, I think it's Lion Brand. It's the Scarfy yarn that fades.
It fades from dark orange to white.
Mm-hmm. And do you know what stitch you've used?
No.
It's called garter stitch. And how did you make it? Did you knit it in the round or did you knit it back and forth?
Well, I didn't do the needles that have like the round or the back.
You used straight needles?
Yeah.
So you knit it back and forth?
Mm-hmm.
And then how did you make it a loop?
And sewed it at the end.
That's right. She seamed it together at the end. She did a great job, and she wears it, and it keeps her warm.
Yep.
And what about your hat? What are you wearing?
A hat that my mom made.
Mm-hmm. It's just a simple knit pearl ribbing hat, and I think I have a free pattern out there. It's called Elula, E-L-U-L-A, I believe. And it used to have a pom-pom, but with this particular yarn, the pom-pom kind of weighed it down.
Yes.
So she wears it with a little point, which I like. But she could fold the brim. You want to fold the brim and show how that looks? There we go. And she's cute no matter how she wears it. Did you enjoy knitting?
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else you'd
I
like to say?
knitted it for the past, I think, 2 days.
Took you a few days?
Yeah, at least 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was 3 or 4.
Yeah, she did a great job. It's your first knitted project, isn't it?
Yes, I had 2 days ago.
Yeah. All Okay, so this is the morning we've packed up and gotten all our stuff out so I can show you a video of the cabin and give you a little walkthrough tour. So there's the outside, of course. I already told you about the rustic, that it's like over 100 years old. And my husband cut some logs because they have a wood stove that heats the house. And my kids want to show you the big swing out the front. There's the big swing. It's on a hill here, and so you feel like you're going really high. And they really enjoy that. And that old house is an abandoned house. Yeah, I don't know anything else about it. Stream over there. I have a few pictures of the stream. This is the outside fire pit that we did s'mores and hot dogs on. And now I'll show you inside the house. This is the lovely porch with swing. And they've handcrafted things like the handles and locks. A little hand-carved broom, which is super cute. Alright, so this is the main room of the cabin. This kitchen area has been added on. It wasn't original to the cabin. They have a couple of beds in here. Here's the wood stove that heats the whole house. Works pretty well. Takes a little while to heat the house initially, but once it gets going, it's nice and warm in here. Here's the other bed. Okay, I'll show them that. Okay, my daughter wants to show you. The guy who owns it does a lot of wood carving, and he likes to make these little birds. It's very cute. Okay, and we'll go upstairs. It's kind of a cool, starts out as a little bit of a spiral staircase, and the beam is a log.
Only if it was a spiral staircase, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. So this is like the attic room, I guess you could say. Upstairs room. So this is the angle of the roof up here. But it's a simple room with a bed. I've already put the plastic on it so it's protected while nobody is here. But it works well. So we'll go back down. My husband's cleaning out the stove. My dog is keeping him company. Say hi, Wookie. Wookie really likes the wood stove. He would sleep right there next to it. So this is the kitchen. Like I said, this wasn't original to the old log cabin, and they've added this on. They have a nice big sink here. They have running water and electricity. And that's an old refrigerator. They just use it to seal things up so mice can't get in. And this is an old stove. They don't actually use the wood burning stove. They just put an eye on top of it. They have a lot of cute decor in here. And more of the little bird carvings that he makes. His little bird's nest. More bird carvings. Okay.
I like this one the best.
You do. And they added on a bathroom. Initially when they had the cabin here, they did not have a bathroom. You had to go to the bathroom outside. But now they have one, which is nice. Just regular bathroom and sink. Very luxurious for cabin life. But here's a picture of the original toilet. Alright, is there anything else? They have lots of hooks that are very cute.
Shower.
Oh yeah, they added on a shower too, which is nice. And he likes to fish.
The back porch.
Oh, the back porch? Yeah, I can show you around the outside of the house. So back to the kitchen, into the main room here. They have lots of good rocking chairs. So they have a hot water heater, which is nice. So you can have like a real shower.
And look at that.
Oh yeah, this is a cute little hook.
It's
So
a
it's
squirrel.
a stick that's been carved, but see, there's the squirrel's head, and that's the squirrel's tail.
And this is
That's
the
the hook.
body.
Yeah, isn't that cute?
And those are the hands.
There's another bird up there. They even put it in a washer and dryer. So, like I said, luxurious for cabin life. Alright, I'll take you out the back door here and show you back side of the cabin.
Last time
More
we were
cute little
here, it was
hooks.
the same, wasn't it?
Yes, this is the second time we've been here. This is coming out the back door. Let's see. So this is the back side of the cabin. My dog. They have a pretty stone chimney. Show them around this side. And then I suppose the tour will be about done. Unless you want me to take you down to the stream. I can take them down to the stream. What do you think, Kason? I love this stone fireplace. So cute. Alright, we'll walk over to the stream and show you that. So the stream is just down here. Lots of good mossy rocks.
The little bridge that crosses the stream.
Oh yes, we can show them that too, Kason. So I hope you can hear the sound of the stream. This isn't the prettiest section of it. We need to walk up more.
To a prettier section.
I'm going to take them up here by the stream with the, but the little waterfalls up here. There we go. Isn't that pretty? The little waterfall up there. Nice bubbling brook.
I can show you a spot where I get to all the way to the other side.
Okay. Alright, we'll turn around and walk down the other side of the stream.
Now? Okay.
She wants to show you how she can cross the stream here on the rocks. Ta-da! Wilkie's not going to do it. He's too smart. It's a little cold if he fell in. Still have frost on the ground. And here they have a very mossy covered bridge that my kids and the dogs have crossed. Although it looks a little bit treacherous because of all the moss. They seem to do just fine on it. Alright, it's time for us to say goodbye to this beautiful place. Maybe next year we can come back. It's a nice little view of the cabin. And the kids on the swing. Alright, bye! One more thing. She wants me to show you something, and I don't know what it is. They have loved playing in this stream. I think a stream is like a child's best play area. Yeah.